It was night for the Owls against UCF on Saturday as Temple football lost by 40-plus points for the third time this season.
And one Temple team was sent out in style to face the #1 seed in a conference championship tournament. Plus,
I'm Caden Steele, live from Howard Field to bring you the story of Ninka Orlamont and the impact that she's having on the playoff-bound Owls. OwlSports Update is live and it's starting right now.
hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new edition of OwlSports Update. I'm Lindsey Moppert and alongside me is Luke Meli. It was a busy week for Temple Athletics and there's an even busier one ahead.
Part of that busy week included Temple football taking on a team from the Sunshine State for the second straight week, and the results were all too similar.
Temple faced off against the UCF Knights in what some thought or hoped would be a close one, but it was quite the opposite. After a set of scoreless possessions on both sides, the Knights strike first as running back Isaiah Bowser scores to give UCF a 7-0 lead. Staying with UCF's offense, the Knights cap a 10-play drive down the field with a touchdown pass to tight end Alec Holler. Temple answers back with some momentum as Jalen Ware hustles for the interception, but he fumbled on the return, which puts the Knights back on offense. UCF held possession for most of the game until Temple quarterback Justin Lynch finds Jose Barbone with 36 seconds left in the fourth quarter for a 27-yard touchdown. That does it for this one with a final score of 49-7 UCF.
Temple's run defense was a top priority on Saturday after allowing a season-high 421 yards on the ground to USF. But it was their pass defense, which ranked second in the conference, that got torched for 5 touchdowns. OwlSports Update's Matt Rainier was at the game and has more.
So maybe offense sells tickets, and maybe defense does win championships. But on Saturday at the Link, the Owls defense was not of that championship caliber against UCF in another blowout loss.
Obviously, when you beat yourselves against a good football team like that, the score is going to reflect what it did today.
Temple's run defense has been a major problem all season long, and the UCF game was another example of this, with the Owls giving up 199 rushing yards. However, the most shocking part of the loss was the secondary. Temple allowed quarterback Mikey Keene to throw for an efficient 229 yards and 5 touchdown passes.
Being part of a secondary or DB is always frustrating to get a touchdown scored on you and obviously have 5.
Both the rushing and the passing defenses from Temple were subpar to say the least, but the main contributor for this loss was UCF's efficiency in the red zone as the Golden Knights capitalized on 5 out of 6 trips to the end zone.
We have to hold them to field goals, and you saw that. We got a couple stops, and one was just outside the red zone, but we got the goal line standing. That's what we need to be doing more of.
And the challenges won't get any easier this coming week when the Owls travel to North Carolina. The ECU Pirates rank 4th in the conference, averaging 426 total yards of offense per game. Reporting from Lincoln Financial Field, I'm Matt Rainier, OwlSports Update.
This weekend, the Owls will head down south to take on the East Carolina Pirates at 3 p.m. on Saturday.
The Owls are 1-3 on the road, their only win coming at Akron. We welcome Inside the Nest anchor Jackson Neal to the desk as we look ahead to the matchup with the Pirates. Jackson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
Now, Jackson, let's get into it. You talk Temple football every Tuesday for 45 minutes on Inside the Nest. How do you see this one shaping up?
Well, going into this game, the main thing about ECU is that they force turnovers. Right now, they've forced 12 interceptions on the season. That's second best in the conference right now, 6th best in the nation. Keep in mind, Dewan Mathis has thrown 3 interceptions in his past 3 games during this losing streak. Right now, I see ECU completely controlling possession in this football game and coming away with a 35-14 win.
Now, Jackson, I'm going to have to take the opposite role here because I love playing devil's advocate. You know, Temple is not looking too hot in this scenario. We're 1-3 on the road. Again, only win was Akron, and we're on a 3-game losing streak. But I'm optimistic. I'm going to take Temple for this one, but I will say that I'm not writing any apology letters if I get this one wrong.
Well, Lindsey, I'm sorry. I think you're on an island with this one. I'm going to stick with my man Jackson here. The Owls are 1-3 on the road, as you said. ECU 3-1 at home. They're a good home team. They're much improved this year, 4th in the conference in offensive yards per game. But I'm going to look at Temple. Temple's been blown out by Rutgers, Boston College, USF, and UCF this year. They've given me no reason to believe that I should pick them to win this game. So I think Jackson and I are together on this one, siding with Temple. But that's all the time we've got for today. Jackson, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on Tuesday at noon, win or lose.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Tune in to ESPN Plus at 3 p.m. for this matchup at the Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium on Saturday.
The Owls understand they are going to have their hands full, with the Pirates looking like a much improved team. They are 4th in the conference in offensive yards per game.
Going and playing against a team like ECU, who's I think is a good team, tough team. They play hard every week. Like we get a win here, it'll definitely boost our team's confidence.
Simple things like the way the quarterback throws the ball. The quarterback will lead out a faster guy in space rather than, you know, a guy who's bigger and may not be as fast. You know, he'll throw a back shoulder throw, or he might throw it up a little bit higher so he can jump up and get it. So we just got to be prepared for those different kinds of throws.
Looking at the entire AAC, the race is tight at the top as Houston and Cincinnati sit undefeated in conference play. Right on their tails are SMU and UCF, the only other teams in the conference with a winning record. When it comes to bowl eligibility, we've seen some of these top teams hit that crucial 6-win mark. But for a team like Temple, the odds keep getting slimmer. The Cherry and White must win 3 of its last 4 games to be bowl eligible for the second time in 3 years under Rod Carey.
This week, Luke and I have picked our Temple football plays of the week. We'll mix it up with one play showing where the Owls need work and another play where the Owls got it to work.
We'll pick this one up in the first quarter where the Owls have been outscored by 60 points this season. It's 3rd down, and DeJuan Mathis, pause it right here, has an open Jordan Smith at the top of the screen. If he hits him on the outside shoulder, he could take it up the field. The avenue for the throw is there. The protection is also great. He's got to step into this one. Fast forward at another second. Now we've got Jose Barbone streaking towards the bottom of the screen. Wide open, goes unfound by Mathis. Double team blocks all around DeJuan. He's got the time he needs, and he needs to make the throw. For a Temple team that is bottom 10 in the country in converting 3rd downs and being outscored in first quarters at an alarming rate, these are the plays that the Owls have to convert to show some growth as a team.
Now, Luke, I completely agree with you. It's not really an opinion. It's stats. But Temple here, they really need to do better on 3rd down attempts. But in this one, 36 seconds left in the 4th quarter. We'll stop it right here. Okay, now you see we have Justin Lynch. He doesn't even have the same protection that DeJuan Mathis had. Still able to pick up his head, find Jose Barbone for that 27-yard touchdown. And that was Temple's only touchdown of the game. Now, if Temple thinks that they're going to beat ECU this weekend, like I say they will, they're going to need to do better on 3rd downs.
All right, we're done with football for now. It's break time.
Coming up, basketball, and one set of twins changing up their job description after many years playing side by side.
Since we were little, we always been close. We literally, not just basketball, we've done everything you can think of together.
Yes, basketball. And there are some other sports just now getting ready for the start of the season, including gymnastics. Stick around.
Welcome back to OwlSports Update. Basketball season is just around the corner, and Temple's women's team has been gearing up for its Tuesday opener.
But before the Owls take on St. Francis November 9th, we'll take a look at some of the new pieces on the roster for Tanya Cardoza this season. Last year, the Owls finished with an 11-11 record and will be returning their top 4 scorers. This includes the head of the snake, Mia Davis. Davis led the team with 18 points per game and was named the AAC Preseason Player of the Year for the 2nd consecutive season. 3 notable incoming transfers include Jalen Holmes, a graduate from Norfolk State, Karanda Perea, a sophomore from George Washington, and Giselle Thomas, a graduate from FIU. For college athletes, the teammates you go into battle with every day start to feel like family. But for some, that family-like bond moves well beyond being teammates. OwlSports Update's Max Grazzula is live at the studio set to tell us more. Hey, Max.
Thanks, Luke. Yes, this year the women's team has its family affair once again with the Mayo sisters, but their roles are changing from player-coach to player-player to player-coach.
For twin sisters Nicolette Mayo and Imani Mayo, basketball has been a part of their lives ever since they were in grade school. While some twins think alike and these two play alike, they are now taking different paths. Imani is using her final year of eligibility on the court, and Nicolette is using hers on the sidelines as a graduate assistant coach.
As far as, me deciding to not use my 5th year to play and come back, it was something at first. I felt like I had nothing else left to prove as a player, so it was like, hey, and then coach was like, hey, I want you here. So I'm like, yeah, coach, I want to be here.
Although their roles with the team may differ this season, their relationship both on and off of the court will stay very similar.
So the relationship has been the same since a very young age because we always was competitive. Like I said, we always used to guard each other. Nick used to try to know my moves before it happened and just really push each other since a young age.
Growing up as twin sisters in Georgia, both Nicolette and Imani, unsurprisingly, have had many similar interests. But the true bond that has kept these two so close together for so many years has been the game of basketball.
The Mayo sisters will look forward to kicking off their final season as members of the Temple women's basketball program, starting on November 9th at home versus St. Francis.
As Nicolette transitions into a new role, Imani will maintain focus on the court. She hopes to build off a very durable 2020-2021 season in which she started all 22 games played. Luke and Lindsey, back to you.
Thank you, Max. The Meli Moppert Minute is back, and this week we're talking about Aaron McKee and his impact on the men's team. Just so I can avoid the buzzer, I'll go first again. The thing that excites me the most with McKee is the influence he can have on the team's young guards. It's no secret that Damian Dunn, Jeremiah Williams, and Caleb Battle are the cornerstones of this team. With McKee's collegiate and NBA experience as a point guard, his perspective and advice will be vital for the development of the young guys in the backcourt. Entering his 3rd year as the head man of the team, the coaching jitters should be gone, and he can fully focus on bringing along his guards.
Wait a minute. Why am I always second? Anyway, everyone has always talked about the McKee era when he came to Temple in 2019. But now it's finally his time. Year 3. This is his team, and I'm so excited to see what some of the veterans and even some of the younger guys might have in store this season. I think this is an honest testament of his team and their potential, and not to mention his own coaching staff. He's even added some new staff members who obviously demonstrate the qualities that he wants for his team this year and for many years to come. I think this could be a really good year for this. Get ready. OwlSports Update's Sage Hurley will sit down with 3-time first-team All-AAC women's basketball player Mia Davis to discuss her expectations heading into her final season of college basketball. That's next Thursday at noon on CUTV.
The gymnastics team is beginning preparation for the season. The high bar in particular may scare some away, but for these gymnasts, it's an opportunity to put fear away and put their courage on display. OwlSports Update's Joey Corcoran has more.
Over 8 feet above the ground in gymnastics stands the high bar in the uneven bars event. It can produce memorable routines or unforgettable falls. The Temple gymnastics team has experienced both sides of this landing. It happens to everyone who competes long and hard enough. The real challenge might not be the routines, but getting back to the bar after one of these falls.
I just had to take a deep breath and just remember that I've done the skill before and I know how to do it, and just remember that my muscle memory will kick in and I can do it.
Muscle memory might sound simple enough, but for Coach Josh Nielsen, the task is more mental than it is physical, and rushing back to the bar too soon can cause more harm than good.
When something happens, I usually just tell them, hey, take a little minute, breathe deep, and then we'll get back at it.
And it's here at McGonigal Hall that the Owls take to the bars. And it's where they've experienced some falls that they are yet to forget.
The worst fall, I was doing something called a blind turn where you like swing around and then you turn with your hand, and my hand slipped. So I kind of just like fell all the way down, straight down. And so I definitely, after that, I just took a little bit of time to work on the floor bar, which is like a little drill on the floor, to get the motion back before I tried it again up high.
The Owls start their season this January, and rest assured when they come back, the uneven bars will be waiting. At McGonigal Hall, I'm Joey Corcoran, OwlSports Update.
Coming up, Temple's got a team heading to the postseason and a coach heading to the Hall of Fame.
Find out more when OwlSports Update continues in 90 seconds.
Welcome back to OwlSports Update. The field hockey team came into this past weekend needing one more win to clinch a spot in the Big East tournament for the second straight season. The biggest game of the year took place at the Temple Sports Complex. Against the 20th ranked UConn Huskies, we pick things up in the second quarter. It's Devin Kinzel on the doorstep, turning garbage into gold and putting Temple in the lead. Just 6 minutes later, it's Claire Jandeworth putting in her first of 2 goals on the game. It was the only 2 goals on the day for UConn. After a scoreless third, this game caught some fire in the fourth. First, it's Carrie Lorenz from way downtown getting this one to go. But this one needs extra time. Pressure makes diamonds, and Julianne Kopech shined like one with this game winner, clinching the Owls a spot in the Big East tournament. Temple wins 3-2.
In their huge upset win, the Owls got production from their 2 leaders. Julianne Kopech and Carrie Lorenz both scored yet again. Lorenz snatched her 3rd goal of the season during Friday's matchup. She's fired 18 shots with 11 on frame to tie for 2nd most on the team.
Julianne Kopech was named to Big East All-Conference First Team as a freshman. Kopech scored her team-leading 6th goal of the season, also her 3rd game winner of the year for the Owls.
And after that big overtime win against UConn, the Owls packed up on Wednesday for a trip to the Big East tournament in Connecticut. Temple faces the league's top seed Liberty University in the semifinals on Friday at 1 p.m.
We've highlighted the impact of offensive stars Julianne Kopech and Carrie Lorenz. But what about defense? OwlSports Update's Caden Steele is live at Howarth Field. Hey, Caden.
Thanks, guys. Field hockey is played across the globe. In the Netherlands, it's one of the most popular sports that is played. Nico Orlemans, one of the most talented Temple backs, is a Dutch native, and she's impacted the team in various ways throughout her 4 years.
Temple back Nico Orlemans has spent most of her life playing field hockey in the Netherlands. Her mother played for the Dutch national team, and she played a significant role in Orlemans' success growing up.
She signed me up to play field hockey when I was like 4 or 5 years old. She has always been like a coach and a manager of my youth team, so like she was always there. She was a big inspiration. She would sit down and draw out what I could do better.
Orlemans is a 4-year starter for the Owls. Prior to the season, she was selected to be a captain. She's not a loud leader, but her leadership style is effective.
She's quiet, reserved, but also you can tell she's very strategic, like she's very thoughtful.
Now at Temple Sports Complex, Orlemans' preparation has turned her into a lockdown defender for the Owls. The 2nd team All-Big East selection last season has 60 starts underneath her belt and displays great precision and skill all over the field.
Following graduation, Orlemans plans to chase her dreams of working on the biggest stage for the Dutch National Olympic Committee.
And that is one of the companies I'm talking to right now is the Dutch Olympic Committee, to intern with them for next semester. I still really want to work for them just because I think the Olympic spirit is just so cool and it just inspires so many people that I would love to be a part of that.
Orlemans' consistent play during the fall has helped the Owls finish 3rd in the Big East in goals allowed, giving up 1.61 goals per game.
Orlemans' defensive impact needs to be on display Friday if they want to have a chance to upset 8th-ranked Liberty. Reporting live from Howard Field, I'm Caden Steele. Lindsey and Luke, back to you in the studio.
Hall of Fames are pretty commonplace for lacrosse head coach Bonnie Rosen. She will be inducted into the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame Thursday. Check us out Friday on Twitter and Instagram at OwlSportsUpdate, where Gil Rosen, no relation, shares Bonnie Rosen's success story as a player and coach. Now for men's soccer in their slick black uniforms versus the 8th-ranked Tulsa Golden Hurricane. We pick it up in the 16th minute where Austin Schweinert gets the scoring started for Tulsa. Now in the second half, it's 2-0 Tulsa, but the Owls come roaring back. First a goal from Andrew Burkhart, then a flying header from Nigel Griffith, and we're all tied up at 2. But just 2 minutes later, it's Takayoshi Wyatt finishing off a beautiful ball as the eventual game winner. Tulsa wins it 3-2.
It was senior night for the women versus the top-seeded USF Bulls. We pick it up after the Bulls drew a foul, resulting in a goal 18 minutes into play. And there goes Temple's Haley Gutowski breaking through to find one herself, one-on-one with USF goalie Sydney Martinez. But there she goes diving to deflect the shot to keep Temple scoreless. It was a back-and-forth battle with saves on both sides of the ball, but USF's Megan Cavanaugh launches the ball into the back of the net, securing the win for the Bulls. USF takes this one 2-0. And despite the loss, 3 Temple seniors were honored prior to the game. This group includes Erin Thieler, Marissa DeGenova, and Mary Byerly. Thieler contributed with a goal in her lone season with the Owls after transferring. Marissa DeGenova played every year of her eligibility at Temple. And last but not least, Mary Byerly, who actually has 2 more years of eligibility, is saying goodbye thanks to her early graduation. Now we've reached our final break, but don't go anywhere. We're talking about the volleyball team and their spooky road trip down south.
Volleyball and the weekend calendar coming up when OwlSports Update returns. Welcome back to OwlSports Update. The volleyball team was down in the Lone Star State for a matchup with the Cougars in the Cherry Tops. The first set was all Houston, winning 8 of the last 9 points to cruise to a 1-set lead. The Owls kept it close in the second set, behind 7 kills from Mirai Bullock-Bashi in the set. But the Cougars stormed ahead to take the final 2 sets from Temple. Houston wins this one 3-0.
And after the tough loss, the Owls traveled to Tulane to play in a spooky matchup on Halloween. In the White Tops, Bullock-Bashi ignited the Owls right out of the gate, but fell to the green wave in the first set. Temple went on a 4-0 run in the second set to pick up a win. In the third set, Tulane won 8 of the last 9 points to win the set, and round 4 was wire to wire, but the Owls came out on top. And in set 5, the Green Wave grabbed the lead and never looked back. The Owls will now drop to 5-18 and 1-11 in the American. Big weekend, in addition to our producer Cameron DaCosta's birthday on Saturday. Field hockey team is in the Big East tournament. The volleyball team has a pair of matches this weekend, and football also looks to get back on track on Saturday while facing the ECU Pirates on the road.
As our fun ends for today, don't forget to tune into Inside the Nest next Tuesday, where we will have Temple's new athletic director, Arthur Johnson, in studio for his first live interview.
For Luke Meli, I'm Lindsey Moppert. Have a wonderful day, everyone.